What's going on, Bleach fanatics? It's Corey from Super Kami Guru 9000, and this is my exciting review of Bleach Chapter 462. So if you guys were expecting the battle between Ichigo and Ginjo to actually continue in this chapter, well, you'd be wrong. There's actually a lot of exposition to happen in this one. That's not to say that it's unexciting, of course, but we do get a few minor revelations about the whole thing with Ginjo being the very first substitute Shinigami, but they don't really go into too much detail about it. Hitsugaya is explaining to Ichigo the whole deal that he was the very first substitute Shinigami, and in order to be recognized by Soul Society, they have to be given that badge, the one that Ichigo has, the one that has the skull on it, the one that kind of looks like a hollow. And we learn here that that's the only way you can be recognized, and basically that's all they really say about it. That's pretty much it. And then they get ready to start their battle again, but they decide to cut away to Chad and Inoue, which, you know, we haven't seen them in a few chapters, and it's pretty much presumed at this point that they're still under Tsukishima's spell, and yes, that is the case here. When they come out onto the battlefield, you can see that they both have really perplexed looks on their face, and they're both just completely shocked by the things that Ichigo is doing. At the same time, they see him as a friend, but they still seem to trust Tsukishima and Ginjo a lot more. And it seems to be hitting Inoue a lot harder. You can see she's actually freaking out and crying, almost as if Ace just died. So for all of you wondering where the hell Tsukishima went, he's actually still here. He actually mysteriously appears right behind Chad and Inoue, and he's basically egging them on a little bit. He's got this real creepy look on his face, and that's another thing that I do like about Kubo's artwork. He draws really batshit crazy faces really, really well. And he's basically just there to sort of reinforce the fact that, oh, no, I've always been there. I've always been your friend. I've always been the one who's protected you, Inoue, from your parents. I've always been there for you, Chad. And before the conversation can go on any longer, luckily Orihara and Ichigo's dad, Isen, jump in, and they knock both Chad and Inoue out. So they're out of the picture now, and we don't have to worry about them, and that's a good thing. But the most interesting part of the chapter came when all the FULLBRING guys came back into the chapter, and they had some pretty interesting things to say. So now it has finally happened. On this brand new destroyed battlefield, we have all the FULLBRING members back, and pretty much they're all pretty pissed. They can see now that Ginjo has Ichigo's powers, and they pretty much all start saying, "Damn it, Ginjo, why do you have his powers? Didn't you say that you were going to distribute those to us evenly?" And Ginjo responds accordingly. It's actually really cool the way they draw it. It actually looks like at first that Ginjo comes down and he attacks all of them, but it's really, really cool. What he actually is doing is he's distributing all of Ichigo's powers to each of them, and in the last panel of the chapter, you get to see that each member of the FULLBRING guys have a brand new upgrade and a brand new look to them, and they all look really interesting. You know, you got the butler-looking guy with the eye patch. He's got, like, all these orbs around him. You got the video game PSP kid. He's got, like, these headphones on. You can see the really, really pissed-off chick. She has, like, these weird-looking bunny ear things. And then there's the Dirty Boots girl who, you know, I can't really tell what it looks like, but it looks like she has these really, really huge robotic-looking shoulder pads. And that's where the chapter ends. It's a really cool-looking panel. Again, it's another Kubo big panel. But I like the way it's drawn, you know, with all the smoke rising. You know, it kind of goes with the fact that their powers have just finally come back. And now this is when the big battle's finally going to begin, with Ichigo fighting against Ginjo and all of the Shinigami fighting against the FULLBRING guys. I can guarantee that the next couple chapters are going to have some really exciting action. And overall, for the score this week, it wasn't a crazy chapter of Bleach, but there was the fact that we got to learn a little bit more about Ginjo's past, and we got the whole thing with the FULLBRING guys getting their brand new powers. And that's always a cool thing. It's always great to see new forms of characters. So for that, I'm going to give it a solid 8. And, you know, I just can't give it any more than that, but that's just because there was very little exposition in this chapter, even though there is very little to have. But I'd still like to learn a little bit more about the whole substitute Shinigami thing. And I'm sure that you guys want to know that too, because they're being very vague about it. Even Byakuya in this chapter was, you know, he brushed it aside when they started to talk about it at the beginning. So that's the way it's going to be this week, an 8 out of 10. Alright guys, like our Naruto reviews, I typically don't do questions for Bleach, but the way things are going in this chapter, I think it's finally time to start getting some good questions out there, and I want to hear from you. For this week, I want you guys to let me know who do you think is actually going to fight in the upcoming battle between the Shinigami, Ichigo, Ginjo, and the Fullbring guys. Since there's only so many Fullbringers, it's going to be really interesting to see how this is going to fight, and I also want to know if they're even going to stand a chance against these Shinigami. I mean, these are some of the most powerful characters in the series, so let me know what you think is actually going to happen in the upcoming battles. It's no surprise here at Super Kami Guru 9000 we love our ninjas and our death gods, but we also love pirates, and that's why this week we released our very first One Piece video, which is made to promote the brand new anime time skip that's going to happen this year on October 2nd. It's going to be full of precious booty. You know, like pirate treasure, not Nami's ass. But Nami's ass will be there too. And remember guys, if you really enjoyed my review of Bleach, make sure to give that thumbs up button some sweet, sweet love. And also, if you like this and you like some of our other content, please subscribe to our channel, because we got a lot of great anime projects in the pipeline that aren't just relegated to the big three. And that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000, out! And that's it! That's Bleach 462! Inoue had big boobs in this chapter.
Corey, we're not...